Updating firmware on the Kenwood TH-D74 Triband dstar radio, starting now. Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome to Ham Radio 2.0. This is your first time to join us here. Click on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell notification icon so that you can keep up with all videos we post on this channel, everything that's new in amateur radio. Down there where it says subscribe, if your subscribe button is red, then you haven't subscribed. If it's gray, then you have. So turn it gray for us, will you? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. This has been a public service message. I'm just kidding. Okay, so today we're going to update. Today we're going to update the firmware on the D74. So I will put this link in the description of the video, right down there. You can ignore that. And this is obviously it's come straight from the Kenwood website. And the most important thing to notice is two things. Number one, virtual COM port driver, which I've already installed at the time of this recording. You download it here. This needs to be installed onto the PC to use a firmware updating program with a micro USB cable. So, regular old micro USB cable is what we use. It goes into the side of the radio here. Down the side here, where it has the rubberized covers, you've got your speaker mic connection, which is your standard two-prong Kenwood connector. Just like that. That's an Anytone cable I just plugged into the Kenwood radio. So you got your speaker mic, you've got your micro SD card, which you can read and write your programming on a micro SD and load a bunch of dstar stuff in there. I've never done that. Maybe we'll do another episode on that later. And then the next one down is your micro USB cable. And then the one underneath that is the DCN, where you plug in your factory charger that comes with the radio, not the desktop drop-in charger, which you have to buy later, because apparently $550 is not enough money to get you a desktop charger to come with the radio. But it does come with the little plug-in charger on the side there. You just lay the radio down on the desk. So your micro USB cable is right there, and as you see on the screen, it tells you you've got to install the virtual COM port driver before upgrading onto the PC to use a firmware updating program with a micro USB cable. And then it's got all of these versions down here. Now, here's the thing, and let me tell you something. Let me go off on a little tangent here. Don't update the firmware in your radio, this radio or any other radio that you buy. Never, 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 never update the firmware in a radio until you've checked to see what version the radio currently has. I can't tell you the number of people I have gotten emails and calls from about these TYT DMR radios that are trying to do a firmware update, and they usually don't brick it. I think one guy bricked his, but usually it stays in DFU mode, or the screen goes wide, or something funky happens. And they call me, they're like, hey, I did this and this and this. And I said, I was trying to update to this firmware version. Have you seen this before? I said, well, sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending on what the situation. I said, what version of firmware did it have prior to you updating? Well, I don't know. Well, then how do you know you needed an update? Well, I just assumed, well, yeah. That's where you made the mistake. You just assumed. So check and see what freaking version of firmware is on your radio before you go start plugging in USB cables and making changes. It seems like that should be common sense, but apparently it's not. Okay, so tirade over. If we go in here and I go into, no, not that, and I forget where, menu. Okay, menu, configuration, display, system, version, right there. So menu button on the front of the radio. Hit the menu button on the front of the radio. Go to configuration, which is the gear on the bottom right. Hit enter. Scroll down to the last option, which is system. And then the second one down, the first one's language, the second one is version, and it tells you what version is. This is version 1.02. I've never updated it. Okay? So I've never updated, because I bought this radio like 2 years ago from Richard at Main Trading Company. And at the time of this recording, the latest version is 1.08. So I'm 6 versions behind. Now, another cool thing is, you'll see on the screen right here, it says, let's see. You download the file right there. It's a 7.64 megabyte file. It's dated January of 2018. So apparently they haven't had a version come out since January of 2018, which was over a year ago. But it says right here in red, the latest version includes all previous updates. So I read that, and we're going to find out here in a second, but I read that to mean I don't need to update, since I'm on 102, I don't need to update to 103, and then update to 104, and then update to 105, and do that 7 times until I get to 108. So we're just going to update to 108. Let's see if it takes it. Plug that in. And it doesn't say anything in the menu about putting the radio in a specific mode either. So make sure you plug in this micro USB cable in the right direction. Don't foul up your the cable and or the port in the radio. The most important thing is the port in the radio. So let's go here. And again, I've already installed the virtual COM port driver at the time of this recording's here. So I'm going to go here, and I've also already installed the software. So basically, actually no, that's not true. I have not installed the software. I've extracted the zip file, and let's go, that's a compiled HTML. Here's the application. Okay, it's a standalone application. You don't have to install it, because all I did was extract it. I downloaded the zip file from Kenwood, and I extracted it. That's all I've done so far. COM7. Why is that window spinning? Okay, to rewrite firmware. To install a full charge battery pack to the transceiver. Turn the transceiver power off, okay? Boom. Turn the transceiver power on while pressing and holding the PTT and the 1 key. Okay, so we do have to put it in some sort of DFU mode. And then place the transceiver in firmware programming mode. Connect the transceiver's USB 2.0 micro USB cable, okay? Close this window and select a COM port. Okay, so we're going to do that. So PTT power, or I'm sorry, PTT and the 1 key, power on. Current firmware, okay, it says firmware programming mode, current version 1.02. Focus. Focus. There we go. Now, I'm going to plug in my cable, micro USB cable. Again, this is an Anytone cable. Right there. Close this window. Okay. COM7. That's the only COM that came up. Okay, I plugged it in while it was powered on the first time. That's the only COM that came up. Update. Click OK button to execute the firmware update. OK. Erasing flash. And now the screen flashes with program down there at the bottom. And now you can see on the computer screen, switch over, it's writing 20%. Boom, boom, boom. And it even says new version on the screen of the D74 right now. It says new version V1.08, and then it's flashing program while the computer is writing to the radio. You might want to set it down also in case you've got a loose USB port, because you don't want that USB port. You don't want the USB port to come loose while you're doing your update. I can guarantee you. That is a good way to brick a radio. I've bricked a few Chinese radios that way. I assume that the Kenwood would probably brick also, but I don't know. Maybe not. It's certainly better built than most of your Chinese stuff, but you still don't want to do that. Okay. Completed. The firmware has been updated. Click OK. And then it goes back to that screen on the window. And then this, on the screen of the radio itself, shows right there. It says, information completed. So, yeah, that's the same screen that was there. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to unplug my micro USB cable. Power the radio off. No screen. Power the radio on. Kenwood. That's the background. And then we're going to go to Menu, Configuration, System, Version 1.08. Maybe the folks over at Yazoo could take a lesson in firmware updates from Kenwood. I'm just going to leave that right there. So, okay, let's see. I've got my KC5 HWB testing. There we go. Now, I just keyed up my 220 simplex node, which is an Elenco simplex node with a Raspberry Pi connected to it in the office of my home, right over there, which is currently running an all-star image. So there we go. Let's see. No, that's the... Nope. Sorry. AB. Yep. KC5 HWB testing. That's just a simplex, 146.400 simplex. Let's go to 45.400. I think that's the... I just want to key up a repeater, a local repeater, and see if it keys up. 145.400 tone. Tone, 110. KC5 HWB testing. So, 2-meter repeater on top of Baylor Grapevine over there. So, everything's good. Good to go. Transmitting and receiving. And there you go. Updating the firmware on the Kenwood TH-D74, which I should have done a long time ago. I've actually been waiting to do it so that I could do a video on it. So, there it is. Guys, if you like this video, click over there. That'll pop up in a second. Video over there. Click continue. Click like. Comment below. Let me know what you use your Kenwood for. Let me know if I should be using this sucker on dstar. Maybe one day I'll get on dstar. 73. See you guys next time.